Hey guys, what's up? Commander here. Welcome to my review of last night's NXT. Another great episode, and I think I'm going to start doing this weekly. Even if it doesn't really blow my mind like last week's did, but I still really enjoy NXT. And this was another good episode. I really quite enjoyed it. So just get straight to it. Again, I'll talk through my I'll just give my review on the entire show and tell you my favourite moments. Start off with Hideo Itami versus Dempsey, which I was kind of surprised at Dempsey coming out. But nothing too memorable or something like a shocking moment or anything like that. But Hideo won. I still feel his dropkick finisher. It's if he did it really quickly and really when he does it, if he did it really quickly and looked really powerful or brutal, it would be I think it would be good. It's still okay, but I don't know. I think just let him do the GTS. I think it has to happen eventually. Just let him do it. Even though the kiddies all complain that he stole CM Punk's move, even though Hideo Itami was the one who CM Punk got it from. But let's move on. Hideo won, and then afterwards, what was it? It's not saying here in the recap thing, but afterwards, Tyler Breeze came out and he attacked him when he was on the entranceway, and then and he was trying to take a selfie thing with his selfie stick. This was pretty funny. And he was trying to get the best picture, and he was moving forward and forward, and he's got the thing up, and then you just see Hideo standing up, and then Tyler Breeze just shits himself and turns around and runs away, but Hideo nailed him with a clothesline, and I think he eventually got away. It's weird that they don't have anything about it on the NXT thing on the Bleacher Report thing. Oh well, maybe I should have looked for a more detailed recap thing, but it was pretty funny. I quite liked it, and I'm interested to see where this feud will go. I did hear about a match that happens in the tapings, the last tapings, that was really good between them, so I'll be looking forward to that. Next we got Lucha Dragons versus Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan. Such a weird team. I'm not a great fan of this team, but it seems to be over because after this match, the Lucha Dragons won. They did have some good tag team moves, which was good to see, and no botching. They didn't do their finisher, which I don't think they've hit right one time. I think they had it sort of right the first time, and the second time maybe. And the other times they just botched it. They didn't even do it that time. They just did the Salida del Sol by Kalisto into Sin Cara's Swanton Bomb for the win. And throughout this match, Dillinger was refusing to leave the was refusing to tag him in Jordan, and then Jordan when he did finally want to tag him, Jordan jumped off the ring, and then Dillinger got wrecked. And after the match, after the break, I think he was going sort of mental, Dillinger, and he said he would beat anyone up. And then out comes Baron Corbin and squashed. Didn't last very long. These matches don't tend to with Baron Corbin. There's only so much they can do with Baron. They need to start doing more. I think he's just running his course for the whole 20-second squash matches. I think he needs to start doing something else now. So hopefully they get on that and do that. Yeah, I've just found another recap thing. It says Tyler slips out to fight another day. Yeah, he was telling them to relax and stuff. Ty Dillinger was telling Jason Jordan to relax when he was trying to beat him. But after that, there was a thing with Charlotte saying she was ready for when she's going to face Sasha Banks next week, which I'm really looking forward to for the NXT Championship. And then there was a thing from Tyler Breeze saying that he's going to squish Hideo Itami like a bug. Did he say that? I don't remember that. That's what it says anyway. But next we got which I'll get into this in a what I want to talk about after this. I'll get into it. But Becky Lynch defeated Bayley in a really good match. Sure, they were still given less than 5 minutes. Well, it didn't feel like less than 5 minutes. It was really action-packed. It was a really good back-and-forth match. The guy said that's a problem. Yeah, I agree, but at least the match is action-packed and entertaining, you know? Like, that's the thing. Like, this whole give Divas a chance thing was trending worldwide after that awful Raw match. It lasted 30 seconds from when the bell rung to when the bell rung again. It was awful, truly awful. I just couldn't believe it when it happened. It was an absolute joke. It's a joke to see the way the main roster divas are treated. It's just shocking, really. Absolutely shocking. And this match was so good. Becky and Bayley, you know, great back and forth match. Sure, this guy says less than 5 minutes, but it was good, you know. And that doesn't happen on the main roster because they're just so damn restricted, you know. I see comments from people on sites and on YouTube. It's like, oh, I can't wait for Sasha Banks to go to the main roster. I can't wait for Charlotte to go to the main roster. Oh, they'll do this, they'll do that. No, they won't, because they're not allowed, you know. Look at Paige, Emma, Summer Rae, you know, all really talented women's wrestlers, and you wouldn't know that, you know. Paige just had a few good matches. Personally, I think her best one was against AJ at SummerSlam last year, and it was only 4 minutes long. You know, they're just too restricted, and then Vince is coming back saying, oh, we hear you, keep watching, and then the replies to these people, the replies to Vince about this, they're like going mental about thinking it's actually going to happen, you know. It's not. If you've been a fan for like a reasonable amount of time, you'll know it just won't happen, you know. Don't believe anything they say. And AJ was getting into it, she was getting a bit angry and said something to Stephanie McMahon, and Stephanie was apparently furious when she got the tweet from AJ, like making her look bad or whatever, and apparently Vince told Stephanie to say to send the tweet back, I appreciate your opinion or something, which basically means we don't give a shit about you, pretty much. And they'll do nothing, you know, or they'll give them time, but it'll be a shit match, you know, nothing will happen. Like, people seem to think that main event match with Nikki and Paige like a couple of months ago was good because it lasted 15 minutes long, you know. It wasn't an action-packed match or anything, you know. It was nothing interesting, it was nothing new. It was just like a regular match you see from the guys, but, you know, nothing interesting happened, you know. But it really is a joke the way the main roster, not only the divas but the guys, are so restricted. Like Dean Ambrose, like I heard so much good things about him from the indies, and all he does is all they allow him to do is like a jumping Thez press thing, the occasional drop kick. I very rarely see him do the suicide dive anymore. The dirty deeds, punches, and that's about it, really. It's so damn restricted, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Singles, Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, pretty much everybody, you know. It's a damn shame, you know, it really is, to see these guys are so talented and yet they're not allowed to do much of anything, really. It's a shame. But the crowd was really good in this Bayley Becky Lynch match. They were into both Bayley and Becky. It seemed like it was more Becky at one point, and Tom Phillips actually said, "Oh, the crowd is behind Bayley," when they were actually chanting Becky. I was like, "What the hell, Tom?" I thought you could misinterpret it as Becky, I guess. But next there was like a thing with Rhino backstage. He's huge, you know. He looks really big, and I don't know. I like the way his promo, and he just has this sort of creepy vibe to him. I don't know. It's really cool. I like him, and I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. With him being there, it was interesting to say the least. Also, The Hideo thing got a grade C from them, and the Lucha thing got a grade C, and the Bayley and Becky got a B from the Bleacher Ferrets. The next was, and last, was Finn Bálor versus the returning the Brian Kendrick. It was cool to hear his theme song again. I'm the man with a plan. I love that song. It's pretty sweet. I haven't heard it in ages. I heard it the first time last night when I was flicking through WWE's Twitter and played one of the NXT things, and I was like, oh yeah. But Kevin Owens was on commentary for this and was talking about stuff with Alex Riley, and he's getting a bit irritated. It was a good match. There was a sick spot in this match too, but eventually, like Kevin Owens left after Alex Riley. They were talking about like how like Alex Riley wouldn't have done that to his friend, what Kevin Owens did to Sami Zayn, and Owens was saying he didn't have any remorse or compassion, and that's why he was NXT champion. And Alex Riley said, because he's a man, Alex Riley, because he was a man, he wouldn't have done that to his friend. And Owens was like pissed, and he was just staring daggers through fucking Alex Riley. And Alex Riley was like just looking over at Tom and Corey Graves, and Corey Graves was like, oh shit. Pretty much, you could just tell by the looks on their face. He eventually left, and then after the match he came back. But the part in the match that was really, really sick. I can't believe they didn't even mention it, to be quite honest. No, they don't mention it on the Bleacher one. Kind of surprising, because it really, when I seen it, I was like, oh shit! Like, it really shocked me. He did like this reverse, this, like they call it a spike suplex, but like the best way to explain it would be Brian Kendrick would have had him in like the glam slam sort of position with like the arms tied behind his back, and then did a suplex, and Finn, holy shit, landed right on the back of his head and neck, and he was hurt. He was saying something after it happened as well, and oh my god, it was so sick. I was just like, oh shit! Oh man, it was so brutal, really brutal. I'm surprised the actual match continued, because it was just sick. It really was. But they got up and continued. Hit the Spling Blade, and then hit the they call it the coup de grace, that double foot stomp thing, which is really brutal. I know I say that all the time, but it really is. And nobody seems to be getting injured from it, so I guess they can keep doing it. I don't know how. I mean, it's like 200 pounds landing on someone's chest or whatever. How they manage to do that and don't get injured, I don't know, but it's pretty sweet. But after the match, Owens comes out again and sort of acknowledges the winner, whatever. Then he sort of strolls over to the announce table and just grabs A-Ryan and just throws him right over the desk. And they're like up high a bit, so he had a fair fall onto like the concrete or whatever. And then Finn was like telling him to come on, but he didn't. And then Tom and Corey Graves was like at Alex Riley, telling him, like, just checking on him. But it was good, and apparently it's going to lead to a match with Ira and Kevin Owens. I haven't watched this breakdown thing. I might actually just go and watch it and just see what gets said, then I'll maybe add in whatever I got to say. So back in a second. Okay, so I watched the breakdown thing. It was just pretty much Regal saying to Alex Riley that he can either be a competitor or a commentator, because you can't focus if he's a commentator. Like when Regal faced Cesaro, he also faced Cassius Ohno as well. I think I can't quite remember. But and then I thought I was going to get a response from Alex Riley. He was like, and then he walked away. It was kind of random. But I can see so many people loving NXT. Like I was looking through the comments and that. It's just good to see so much more people, realising NXT is the shiznit. But tell me what you thought of this episode of NXT. Some people thought it was like a little bit, I think somebody said it looked a bit flat or it wasn't as good. But that NXT had been like white hot was the actual guy's words for like a month or something. So it's kind of hard to keep it going and going. But it was good, And my favourite moment of the show was, it's your earlobe. Not that. was Bayley versus Becky Lynch. A really good match. And I just kind of wish Triple H would take over from Vince and we could see great wrestling like we see at NXT on the main roster. But it's unlikely that that's going to happen anytime soon. And if you actually believe Vince's tweet in that he's actually going to give the Divas a chance, well, more fool you, because you're just going to be disappointed. It won't happen. And if it does, you know, well, it'll happen. But I'll own up to it. Own up to, you know, being wrong. But I don't see it. You know, I really don't see it happening. Really, really don't. But tell me what you thought. I'll see you again next week. Because I'm sure that Sasha Banks vs Charlotte match is going to be good. Because they're, you know, they like to wrestle. You know, Triple H lets them wrestle and wrestle well, which is good to see. But thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, share, like, bunch of love, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.